Oh boy, disclaimer.
Welcome one and all to Banderson's Treehouse of Horror Countdown Review. Continue watching, if you dare. Treehouse of Horror 6 kinda did the world a favour by not being as good as Treehouse 5. Now, the slate was wiped clean again, giving future episodes a chance to look good. But did Treehouse 7 take this opportunity and do a good job with it? Well, let's take a look. And the award for weakest intro goes to this one, obviously. All it is Homer setting himself on fire whilst trying to light a jack-o'-lantern. Woo! I guess? So far in this series of reviews, you will have noticed that every segment has been a parody of something. Whether it's a movie, an episode of The Twilight Zone, or a poem, each segment has taken some inspiration from some sort of source material. Well, that tradition ended with The Thing and I, because this is the first Treehouse segment to be an original concept. At least, I think it is. I've done my research and I found squat. I even checked out Wikipedia, so you know that I tried hard. I guess there are some similarities to Basket Case, but if so, it's a very loose parody. But Lisa and Maggie start noticing weird sounds coming from the attic. Upon searching the attic, they come across a thing! What is the beast? Well, it turns out to be Hugo, Bart's evil Siamese twin who was separated from him at birth and locked up in the attic away from the world. First thing first, god damn, that is an awesome plot piece. They really pulled the imagination out of the bag for this one. This segment is a lot of fun too. I love Homer and Marge's awful attempts at trying to convince the kids that nothing is up there. But what truly sells it is the atmosphere. It's really chilling and unnerving at times. The mystery leading up to Hugo's reveal is engaging, and even once we know who he is, we are still eager to see how he looks. Speaking of looks, these segues really do write themselves, it looks gorgeous throughout. Just look at the animation used in the attic scenes. The cinematography used in this scene is particularly wonderful. Seeing Hugo slowly step out of the shadows is chilling, and he looks downright horrifying. The ending, however, is weaker than a rich tea biscuit. It turns out that Bart is actually the evil left twin. Wow, who saw that coming? Seriously though, this twist, if you can even call it that, just fell a bit flat with me. Granted, there's not much more they could have done unless they were going to make the segment end on a really morbid note, but I just feel that the twist was a bit of an obvious cop-out. However, I'm going to give The Thing and I an 8 out of 10. Weak ending or not, the segment is well animated, has some genuine scares and a great plot. The fact that it's an original concept makes it even better. In the Genesis tub, Lisa soaks her tooth in soda for her science project. After being shocked with electricity by Bart, she inadvertently creates life by shocking the tooth in the tub. Being honest, the Genesis tub automatically has two massive downfalls. One, it isn't scary. And two, it isn't funny either. That's a bad sign right off the bat. But does that mean it's bad? Well, let's take a look at it objectively. There are no laughs or scares, but there is one thing that can save it. And that's the universe Lisa creates. I'm genuinely curious as to how these beings live their lives. Each time we see them through Lisa's microscope, they've evolved way quicker than us mere humans have. By the time Lisa actually gets to meet them, they are by far more advanced and futuristic than we are. I like the look of the world too, especially the futuristic period. One thing I really like is that the world revolves around the tooth, with all the beings making it the centre of their civilization. I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing a mini spin-off show based around this universe. I want to learn more about their ways of life. I also like the concept of Lisa being deemed a god, only to not even know what to do with this new power. And Bart being the universe's devil is just perfect. The ending is interesting too. Bart seals Lisa's universe and claims it as his own science project, getting him the award for best project. Lisa, who is unable to return to her own world, gives in and finally accepts her new role as god by bossing people around. I wouldn't say it's funny, but it's certainly entertaining. The Genesis tub gets a 7 out of 10 because whilst it's not overtly funny or scary, it's interesting. I found myself invested throughout the segment despite the lack of laughs or scares. I just find it fascinating. It takes a look at religion and science hand in hand, which is something that is rarely explored. Well, we've had the horror segment and the fascinating segment. I guess all that leaves is the comic relief. and Citizen Kang fits the bill perfectly. This is easily the funniest segment of the episode. It's not even close. Citizen Kang revolves around Kang and Kodos kidnapping and impersonating Bill Clinton and Bob Dole in the middle of an election, with the hopes of one of them becoming president to slowly take over the world. Of course, Homer gets involved, but when trying to warn everyone they just assume he's crazy. Like any normal person would. The comedy obviously comes from the political satire. Simply put, it shows that no matter how stupid or goofy a political candidate is, people will still vote for either of them, rather than voting for a third party. Kang and Kodos are of course completely incompetent as presidential candidates and don't do a great job of hiding their true selves, but people still cheer for them. It's a great commentary on how people will vote for a party rather than the person speaking for said party. It's an unfortunate truth that sadly relates to most worldwide politics. The best example of this is the end of the segment where Kang and Kodos are unmasked. Kodos says,
"It's true, we are aliens, but what are you going to do about it? It's a two-party system. You have to vote for one of us."
And everyone agrees. And when one person pipes up to say,
"Well, I believe I'll vote for a third-party candidate,"
Kang simply says, "Fine, throw your vote away." All these people have the potential to vote for a third party, but won't because of the two-party system. Again, this is a sad truth with many countries. I know people who literally only vote for the party, not the person running it. It's reasons like this that I'm not political, I'll be honest. Citizen Kang isn't just a political commentary though. Some of its best laughs are non-politically related. For example, when Homer tries to save Clinton and Dole, they agree to try and work together to make a better country, only for Homer to be Homer. Makes me laugh every time. I'm going to give Citizen Kang an 8 out of 10 purely for its comedy. I'm not a political person, especially not when it comes to American politics from when I was 2 years old, but even I found the political satire hilarious here. Also, it gets points for being the first segment to revolve around Kang and Kodos since their first appearance in Treehouse 1. I find Treehouse of Horror 7 to be underrated. Yeah, it's not as good as say 4 or 5, but it's still a solid episode. It contains 3 very different segments, an atmospheric horror, a sci-fi epic, and a political satire. All are done well and fit in with the theme of Treehouse of Horror. My favourite is The Thing and I, simply because I lean more towards horror than I do comedy with these segments, but overall it's very solid. I'll go 8 out of 10 for 3 very different yet entertaining stories that I feel deserve more love than they get. And that's it for this video and this review. Do you agree with my thoughts or do you think I'm a mong? What do you think about Treehouse of Horror 7? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.